Hi everyone, welcome to the tutorial. I'm your host, Toby Braps, and you know me from Trail Raiders TV. Here's my Instagram account, and I'm assuming you guys are here because you want your reels and your video posts to start performing better than they have been. So as you can see, one of my latest ones reached 100K in 24 hours. I have tons over 200,000 views. We have one that's 1.2 million. I've got a couple that are 700,000. We have a whole bunch that are 500,000. There's another 270, 50K, 166, 100K, and that's what you want to see on your reels and your video posts so that your account grows. Here's the TikTok I have. Also same idea, super high quality, great color, super crisp, fun to watch, and I'm going to show you guys my process. Let's first talk about my mounts. So I'm going to show you the GoPro settings I use to shoot for YouTube, which is I run my YouTube camera up here. And then I also have this Dango Design gripper mount. So here's the website, and you can use it for different applications. Here's for a light, and most guys run their GoPros for YouTube. And this is the mount I use. And the reason I use it is because it just clips on with a really strong spring, and I can take it off and film my friends and then slip it back on real easy. It's not permanently fixed, which I really like, and it's never been knocked off. It's very secure. So I also bought a vertical GoPro case from Amazon. Don't ask me what it is. I have no idea. It's some cheap Chinese knockoff, but I've had the same one for a year and a half, and it runs great. So that's my setup for Instagram and TikTok. So let's dive into GoPro settings. You're not going to have to do anything special. For Instagram and TikTok, any kind of vertical video, you want to make sure that your resolution is 2.7K minimum. Your frames per second is set to 30. Your field of view is linear. Your aspect ratio is 4:3. Stabilization on, of course. Protune off, it's not necessary. And set the microphone to auto. So let's dive right in, shall we? So before we start, I just want to say that you don't have to edit your videos the way that I do. You can edit them however you want, but you should export them the way I do and upload them the way I do to get the quality that I get. But as far as editing them, I'm going to show you two ways. The first way is a way I used to do it, which I don't do it anymore, and then I'm going to show you my current way. So the first way is quick and dirty, and if you don't want to spend a lot of time, the first few times you edit them, things can take a bit longer, but as you figure out a system for yourself, it'll go a lot quicker. So when you open up your project, you'll notice that there's nothing happening in Premiere. This is the timeline where it should be, but you can see there's nothing going on here. What you want to do is you want to come here to the bottom left to the media browser, and you want to find where your GoPro footage is. And I suggest that you offload your videos from your GoPro and put it on the hard drive of your PC or Mac or whatever. Don't leave it on the SD card of the GoPro, otherwise your program will run really slowly. So put it on your C drive somewhere, and then when you double click a clip, it'll come up in this preview window on the top left. And this is where you can kind of scrub through the footage and see what's going on. I generally just drag the whole thing from here onto the timeline. Boom, there's the video. And as you can see, the orientation is not what I want. So the first order of business is to come up here. Doesn't matter what editing software you're using, it should have some type of sequence editor. So here we have our sequence settings. All editors will have this. And this is where you set the workspace format. So we want to do a vertical video, and I set mine to 2160, which is the horizontal pixels in the horizontal direction, and I set it to 3840 in the vertical direction. And as you can see, that is 9:16, which is vertical video format. Hit OK. And there's my workspace. Now my workspace is in a vertical format, and as you can see, my video is still in the incorrect orientation, which I can change. So just highlight the clip, come to the upper left to Effect Controls, If your editing app doesn't have that, you can sometimes right-click the clip for other options. Mine doesn't have a rotation options here, so I have to go to Effect Controls. I go to Rotation, and I set the rotation to 90 degrees. And now my clip is oriented in the correct way. As you notice, now there's a black border all the way around, so I've got to scale this clip up so it touches the sides of my workspace. And I can do that just by coming over to Scale, and clicking and holding and dragging left or right will scale up or scale down. So the first way of editing is you can just drag the clip up to about 142%, and there. It's filled the whole screen. And you can go ahead if you want to and edit your videos all like this and export them. I, however, feel that I've lost too much space on the sides. I've lost too much field of view. So I set mine to 106.5. And that makes it so that the video just is perfectly riding the edge here. Like I said, if you don't like the blurry bands at the top and bottom that I usually do on my reels, go ahead and just scale your clip up and then chop your clip up however you want. In Premiere, all you've got to do is hit C, and you can put cuts anywhere in your clip, as you can see. And then you hit V on the keyboard, and then you can select these and move them around or drag them, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to grab a different clip for a second here. So there's my clip, set it to 90 degrees, scale it up, 106.5, so it's perfectly on the edge there. Then I want to right-click my clip in Premiere, copy the attributes. Now every other clip that I post, I won't have to go through all this again. I can simply select a clip, drag it onto the timeline, select it, right-click, and paste the attributes. And now it's already set up. I didn't have to rotate it and scale it up. It's just going to copy these attributes to this clip. So like I said, if you don't like this way that I put the blurry bands at the top and bottom, you can do it quick and dirty and just scale the whole clip up and be done. So, but as you can see, you're losing the ends of your handlebars, and you're also losing some of the vision on the sides here. So I'm just going to go back to what I had before. I think this looks better. It's better field of view, and you can see some of the clutch work and some of the throttle hand, which is what I like. So let's say you've cut your clip and you've selected the parts that you want to keep, and this is what it is, and you're happy with it. You've played it back. My final step that I do to correct these black bands here is I select everything, and then I hit Control L on the keyboard, and it basically separates the video layer from the audio layer. Then what you want to do is select that video layer, hit Alt, hold it down, and then click and drag up, and it'll duplicate the clips. And then what you can do is you can select the bottom layer, right click, and say Nest. And then it puts all the clips in one clip. So you can edit a whole bunch of clips with one click just by putting them inside of this green bar. So the next step is to take the top layer right here, turn it off, then select your nest and scale up your nest. So click and drag to the right and it'll scale it up. And then there's one fancy thing that I do here, not that fancy actually. I type in blur in my effects panel down below, scroll down and look for Gaussian blur. Right there it is. Click it, drag it over to the nest, and then it pops up in your effect controls, the bottom. I set it to 42, and now you see that I've blurred the bottom layer of the visuals. Now I can turn on the top layer again, and there's my clip. And this is how all my reels are done on Instagram and my videos on TikTok. Now that I've edited my video, I like to add color back into the video. As you can see, it's quite flat. It doesn't have much pop like the videos on my feed have. So I come back down to the lower left, and I go to the project button right here next to history, usually it sits. Click that, go down below to new item, click that icon, and select adjustment layer. And just hit OK because it'll automatically adjust to the project that you've set up in your sequence settings. Hit OK. Here's the adjustment layer. I had one before, but we'll just use this new one. Click it and drag it to the very top of layer of this clip. And then you want to just drag it across to cover the whole clip. Select this layer and you can either go to Window, Workspaces, Color in Premiere, or this new icon, the Workspaces shortcut. Click that and select Color. Now you're in the color grading section of Premiere. Now if you're using a different app, you just have to figure out through YouTube or doing some research online how to get your app to its color grading page. So we're going to select Creative, and that's going to present us some options. So you can add saturation to your clip, which we'll do now. 122 is about where I stop. I do about 7 to 9 points of vibrance. And then sometimes I can add sharpness if I want to, but the GoPro usually is pretty sharp enough. And then there's this eyeball right here, and you can toggle this on and off to see the difference. So I don't know if you can tell the difference. Let me do an extreme for you here. So that's way too much, obviously, but you can just play with the toggle and see what you're happy with. I usually, maybe on this one, I'll do 125, and I'll do 18. And maybe I can even, you can come up to the basic correction and play with the exposure also. I don't really mess with that unless for some reason the GoPro had a lot of trouble with its exposure settings on the day. But I think that's good. If you're happy with your clip and the color in it, you can go back to the Workspaces button, go back to Editing. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that this sequence box is highlighted in blue, not up here, but down here. So just click that. And then a shortcut is Control M for Mandy, or just go to the Export button up top here, the top left. Hit that. And now you can export your clip. So you can scroll through and just have a look. Wow, super nice color. Looks excellent. Very happy with this. We just want to make sure that we name the file, so name that test. You want to specify the location that it's going to save it to. The format will automatically be H.264, which is what most media is encoded with, the format of it all. Now the most important thing is to go to your video drop-down menu, and you want to make sure that the frame size is what we set in the project initially, 2160 by 3840 at 30 frames a second. Don't worry about seeing this 29.97. That is the accurate number. I know the GoPro says 30, but in actuality it's 29.97 frames a second. All that means is it's 30 frames a second. Go to the More option right here. This is where the magic happens. You're going to want to select Render at maximum depth, use maximum render quality. So that's for Premiere users only. If your app doesn't have that, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Scroll down to encoding settings. I set mine to 100. HDR graphics white, I set to 100. Once again, if your app doesn't have that, don't worry about it. Down at the very bottom on Premiere, this is where it's the most important. You want to look for bitrate settings. No matter what editor you're using, look for something called bitrate settings. You're going to want to set that to CBR. There's other options too. VBR 1 pass, VBR 2 pass, ignore those. Select CBR. And what you want to do is, if you filmed at 30 frames a second or 29.97 FPS, your bitrate should be double, minimum. So that would be, in theory, 60. 60 is double of 30. But what I like to do is, to make sure my video gets the most quality, I up it to 80. And if you have a 1-minute clip for a reel or a video, you're looking at about 600 megabytes. And that's that if you see that number, then you know that it's right in the ballpark and you're doing things correctly. If you would like to export longer videos, obviously this number is going to be much higher. So once again, let's just run through this from the top. Most important thing, make sure you know where it's sending the video. Format is H.264. You're going to, on Premiere, make sure you've got render at maximum depth. Use maximum render quality. You could ignore all this if you want to and just go straight down to the bottom and check your bitrate settings. You want to see CBR, set it to 80 for the best possible quality, and then hit export. Well guys, once you've exported your video, find it and just review it. Make sure that you're happy with it. Yeah, looks good. Then what you want to do is you want to get yourself, if you don't have Google Chrome, get Google Chrome and get the extension called Insist. You'll see it right here. Insist is a web client for Instagram. And it'll live right here on your extensions tab. It should be right here in settings. Let me show you. There's extensions. Click on that and then you can search for extensions. Now if you can see, I've installed mine. And once you've installed it, it'll live right there. So you just click that and you sign into this program, this app, and it's free. You don't have to get the pro version like me. You can just use it for free and it'll emulate your Instagram account on the desktop right here. So you can see everything. You can go to your messages. It's got everything you need. This is how I upload my reels. So I just go right down here to the plus sign and I select what I want to add. Do I want to add a story, a photo, video post, or a reel? And as we know, reels are the best performing media right now for account growth than anything. So go to reels. Select the reel you want to upload, open it, and it'll take a second. Go next. And there you go. Now you can write in your caption. You can add music. The most important part for me always is changing my cover. So I go to frame and I just select what I want the thumbnail to be. Add the location, tag people, and most importantly, also share to feed. And then you can see what your thumbnail is going to look like. And once you're ready, click share. It'll upload it. Now what you need to remember is that when you upload this high quality video, it takes Instagram at least 4 to 6 hours to encode this video to make it look super sharp and crisp. In the meantime, it'll display an HD version of your 2.7K video. So for the first few hours of you after you've uploaded it, it might be blurry and pixelated like every other Instagram video, but once they've encoded the high quality video that you uploaded, it'll look super crisp and professional. It just takes some time. Same thing applies for YouTube. When you upload high quality videos to YouTube, it takes YouTube a good, sometimes a full day to encode the video. So just be patient. TikTok. Go to the TikTok desktop app, go to upload, select the file. You can see there they've given us a cap limit. Obviously it can only be 2 gigs. So if you're uploading longer clips, just make sure that you set the bit rate to a setting that allows you to come under the cap. I find for 1 minute to 1.5 minute videos on TikTok, I'm well under the limit and it's fine. So here, click this video. It'll start uploading, enter your caption, then you can select your cover once it's uploaded, and you're good to go for TikTok. The process of everything I just showed you is the same for YouTube. You're going to open up your YouTube videos in your editor. You can open up that adjustment layer, put it over top, and change the saturation and the colors of the whole video, export it, and then go to YouTube and upload whatever video you want. Well guys, I've just showed you everything that I do to create high quality content on my Instagram page. and I want you to just go to my profile and find this link right here, Linktree. Click it. And if you guys have any questions or you need any troubleshooting help, find this little mailbox here. Just click it and email me directly. Or I think even somewhere on the profile here on your phone, it might have an email button. But if you can't find it, just click the Linktree and it'll take you to this little mailbox here, and you can send me an email directly, and then I can help you with any troubleshooting you need. And if you guys want to see additional content on other platforms that I have, a lot of y'all don't know that I have a YouTube channel with longer videos. I'm also on TikTok, and I also have some enduro photography if you like that kind of thing. And as many of you know, I live in Panama now. I'm from Vancouver Island, but I live in Panama, and I am collaborating with the Jarvis Signature Tours here. So if you ever want to come to Panama and ride some of the most amazing enduro, hard enduro trails around, check them out. They have great pricing, and it's all-inclusive tours, and it's a really good time. So I hope this helped, and once again, if you have any questions, just send me a message. Thank you very much. See you later, guys.